Okay, so what we're interested in this installment is to start exploring the most efficient way to move ballast, the ballast water, from one sled to another. We're moving from, say, a sled that's in the previous field, right, to a sled that just got moved to the new field. So that sled's empty, right, so that it's the lightest it possibly can be so the tractor can pull it to a new sled. So there's really two ways we've thought about this as a way to efficiently move the water. The first is to go from the end of one sled to the closest end of the other sled, right? So you have a very limited amount of hose where the pump is going to be operating. The other thing we want to explore that seems promising in terms of the math and intuition is instead to pump from the center of one sled to the center of the other, because we want to just ultimately use a single pump. So we're first going to do this demonstration where each one of these represents a tank. So this will be 5 tanks that comprise the entire length of a sled. It'll be a single ski out of the 2 that comprise a tandem sled. Instead of using the same size container for this, where we're going to fill and actually pump the water to, I'm just going to go ahead and fill this so there's a sort of a constant supply with the same head, right, the same sort of pressure, that as it descends the pressure will release and we'll fill these other tanks. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a stopwatch here on the cell phone, and we'll set that and then compare what we get on both tests. So I'm now going to fill this tank. We'll go ahead and start the clock here, and I'll fill the tank, and we will see what results we obtain between these 2 options. Okay, we won't wait on this. We'll come back and report on this timing. Okay, so we're nearing the very end of this where all of these tanks are properly filled. So we'll go ahead and stop there. So this is 2 minutes and 20 seconds to fill, starting with the lead tank on the end. We'll now fix this up, switch it up, and we'll see what happens when we put that in the center. Okay, so now we've rearranged the setup, so we'll introduce the ballast into the center. So this entails having a much longer hose, but we'll see if we get the results we expect, that this ultimately will be more convenient and faster for the crew moving the sleds from an old field to a new field. So I'll go ahead and fill it up to the same point that I did last time. We'll go ahead and start the clock and compare our results. Okay, we'll be back after this finishes. Okay, so now we're nearing the end of this fill. Stop it right there. Okay, that's 52 seconds. Okay, so at the conclusion of this, I think we have our answers to where we're going to be pumping to and from. The other thing I'd like to share at this point is what we're thinking of in terms of the pump, and to keep things simple. It's actually to have a mobile pump as well, a pump that's literally on a tractor, mounted on a tractor. Now tractors have an element that farmers call PTO, and it's for power takeoff. It's a rotating shaft at the back of every tractor that powers the implements that tractors tow. So this way, it would be a very user-friendly element. We're looking right now at a 400 gallon per minute pump that would actually use that PTO power and pump from one sled to another. Okay, so we'll next talk about how we want to improve the reliability of a tracker sled by isolating each one of these tanks from another. So after they're full, if one were to develop a leak, it would not empty any other tank. So we'll go into that and the hydraulics behind that in the next video.